Hi, I'm Cunty Ronald McDonald.
And I'm plain Jane if she was brown. And this is the Shakedown.
Okay, because we're telling jokes. Because this is
this is the roast. Yes. So,
well, welcome back to this is episode 3 of the Shakedown.
Yes.
And oh my God, let's get this roast a cooking. I am just so excited with the season so far. They have been
kicking
serving
it.
Oh my God,
the
the
park.
looks have been crazy. The challenges have been crazy. I'm just so happy with everything so far.
Yeah,
And
we were saying thank God we were not on this season because we would have been
Yeah,
early
I mean,
boots. Well, you wouldn't have been.
I would have been
I
good,
was
think,
an early
but-
boot the first time, but
No, I think it's doing so well. In a roast, we had a roast, and so we know like what goes into this shit. So I was just so excited because there's some ruthless girls on this.
oh, for sure.
But before our challenge, we did have our very second runway of the season, and that was leather. Ooh, I'm not wearing any. Oh my
Neither
gosh!
am I.
Should we dive right in?
Yes.
All right. So first up on the runway, we had Frida Poussey in this lovely red and black gown with like these puffy sleeves and like this little like bodice thing going on with rhinestones, while get this, walking a pup.
Yes.
Like a person.
A real
as
pup.
a pup, not a dog.
A real pup play pup.
Yeah, a real person with real kinks, and yeah, I loved it.
I thought it was really good. I thought this was one of my favorite garments I've ever seen Frida in. It was a really, like, the actual garment itself, minus her presentation and all of that, was also just really fucking flawless. It was so good. It was, like, tight, and it had this, like, the X's in the front with the sparkly mesh. It was so cute. It was so cute.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it last week, but I love the pageant that Frida brings. So this silhouette was very pageant-like, which I kind of, like, loved that. But then also having, like, it made fully out of pleather, really, like, I don't know, like, she made it her own, which is exactly what we're looking for in this competition. She was giving dominatrix vibes. Like,
Yes,
you don't
for
have to
sure.
get really kinky, you know, and really grungy when you're wearing leather. You can just
Yeah.
be sexy, and I really love that about her. So I'm going to give her a 9.
I'm going to give her a 9 as well. It was so
Yeah.
clean.
It was very clean.
really
I was just going to say that, yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Oh my gosh. Next up, we had Botox. And Botox was in this red, like, biker outfit with a 40-inch
motorcycle.
bust down. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It was iconic.
Yes, I believe Jasmine Cleopatra made that hair.
Ooh.
But, like, it's so cool to see drag kings and, like, gender bending what they're doing.
Yes.
They had the full chest plate on. I loved it. I didn't realize that their makeup had looked like they were, like, in a car crash almost. Like, it's, like, bloody nose.
I didn't see that either.
But, like, I like the storyline. Biker, leather, but it wasn't, like, black leather. So I
No,
liked
it was red leather. I loved it.
red leather,
Yellow
leather.
Unique New York. So I just really loved it, and I love the concept. I love that the wig was there because I was hearing a lot of differing opinions on the wig from people. They were like, I don't know if I like that gender bend aspect, but we're doing drag.
Yeah.
We should all be gender bending all the time, high
Ma'am,
key.
this is a Wendy's.
McDonald's. Don't support, boycott.
Yeah. You know I'm here. The Krabby Patty meal. Oh my God, no. So I really liked it. For me, I have seen Botox in this. Doesn't mean it's bad though. So I was
Oh.
like trying to like relive it per se, but I mean like I would say like an 8.5 for me personally.
I'm gonna say a 9.
Only because I've seen this on Botox before, but the people haven't. So that's like the difference there. Me personally, it's a great look. I loved it. I love the hair. I love the helmet.
The helmet was dope.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was giving like top and bottom to me. Like, you know, I know the designer though, so it's a cunty designer, cunty like outfit.
Amelia, right?
Yeah, but I was just hoping for like one little thing more. I don't know. For me, it was just missing one thing, but I loved it. I still loved it.
I loved it so much. I give it a 9. I like gagged when this came out. For most of them, I gagged when they came out. Let's be real,
Yeah.
but so good. I loved it.
Yeah, amazing. All right, next up we had Tiramisu, and she was in this black mini dress covered in belts with this like super long braid.
Yes.
I love Tiramisu,
Me too.
and she's a fashion diva. But
And it's a big butt.
huge. For me, it was just a mini dress.
Yeah,
you
literally
know?
same. That's what I wrote in my notes.
She
too.
sold the modeling for me. I
Yeah,
thought she
for
was
sure.
embracing it. But like when she turned around, the illusion of the whole belts kind of just disappeared.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, we have what 8 runways you have to worry about. So I mean, like it was a safe option, I will say. Like it was a good option to choose for a mini dress that's pleather. But I just wish, you know, like maybe she had one real belt on there. Maybe putting like just buying 5 more of those belts. And that way, when you turned around, it looked like the belts,
the belts
really
were-
carried to the round,
yeah.
and he could have gotten away with that. But since it was just one belt, and when you turned around, I was like, ooh,
Where'd they go?
where'd they go? But
agree.
I loved her. For that, though, I'm going to give it a 7.5, only because I feel like it's just the mini dress and the braid.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. That's
It's not, she looks amazing, but like,
yeah,
compared to what else we're seeing tonight, I'm going to have to give it a 7.
yeah. Just exactly, just because of what else we saw, and it was just really simple. So
Yeah. But she's still slice. We love you, Tiramisu.
we love you.
All right, next up we had Bombshell Monroe, and she was in this like black latex, not mini dress, but like another dress. Oh, I think it was long sleeve
And
with
maxi,
pointy shoulder.
yeah.
It was a maxi dress. Oh, period. A maxi dress with like these pointy shoulders, and there was like glitter, chunky glitter.
Yeah,
like,
there
she
was
spread.
chunky glitter.
I had thought that it was like lube, cause like when you get into like latex and like leather.
Oh.
So like it kind of gave an illusion for me.
Yeah.
But I was thinking latex.
Not leather.
Yeah. So maybe like that wasn't a good thing per
Yeah.
se. I thought the silhouette was nice though. I
The
love the
silhouette
pointy
was really
shoulders.
cute.
Really, really cunty to me. I liked it. I feel like it was just a black dress with pointy shoulders
And
jewelry. But again, like I thought it was still serving.
Yeah. I agree with that, but I feel like the same thing as Tiara. Like it was just
A black dress.
it's just a black dress. Yeah. Literally.
After Bombshell, we had Miss Serotonin in this blue 60s, like, cutout, like, chained together. And she had a reference photo on her story today that I saw. So it's like a real thing. It's a real dress. And I loved her direct inspiration.
Parts of it looked like popping out
Ill-fitting,
more than the
yeah.
others. Yeah. Like I don't know.
I liked how she went outside the box.
Yeah.
But I just wish that
It
it was
just
on
wasn't
brand
a-
for her. It was very 60s, like her
Oh, yes,
fashion
yes,
style,
yes.
which I appreciated that she stuck to her brand. I just feel like there are some moments where you have to break away from that.
Yeah.
And if you know that your brand can't go above and beyond what's asked, then that's your chance to really show off a new version of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, this could have been Sarah's week where it's kind of like you thought you knew Sarah. Guess what? Sarah's also this kind of person as well.
Slutty Sarah. We could have gotten Slutty Sarah.
Exactly. I would have loved to see Slutty Sarah.
I
but
would have too.
I feel like there was a lot of effort that went into this, and I don't want to say it was a safe option because she really put a lot of work into it, but
Mhm.
I just feel like it fell short of kind of like the leather we were wanting to see.
Yes,
you know,
I definitely
like
agree
yes,
with
it was
that.
made out of leather, but that was like the only thing that was really
Leather about
Leather
it. It
about
wasn't
it, yeah.
giving like leather vibes or like
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna have to give it a 6.
Me as well.
Sorry, Sarah.
Sorry. We love you.
Yes. After Sarah, we had Tabitha motherfucking Christine. And I say that because this bitch.
She gagged the fuck out of all of us.
She walks on stage, right? In this cunty, like, pesto
Pesto.
coat, you know, the brown fur.
Oh.
Pesto the
Bitch, I
penguin.
thought you meant the food.
Pesto the penguin looking coat, which I loved. And, like, this cover up on her face. And she reveals it to be this, like, Dungeons and Dragons sorcerer.
Yeah.
But this bitch pulls off her face mask, and boom, she has a beard.
Whole beard. Full beard.
Full lace front beard with a
Bitch, it was next level. And all the reveals were so
Oh my God.
clean. They were
She-
the cleanest reveals I've seen in so long.
She had a staff, and then pulled out like a fan out of her leg with like the like the fans
The
with like,
wavy,
the fabric
yeah.
to like emulate like magic and like fire maybe as a sorcerer. And I was like,
Yeah.
everything was there. Like it was, I thought it was like Viking at first, but even
Yes.
then, those outfits are like entirely leather. So like you don't even have to like guess what the material is, because when you
Yeah.
think of like Vikings, Dungeons and Dragons, like old like mythic times, you think of leather instantly.
Yeah.
So not only did she have that going for her, just everything else, like with the face, the beard, the props, like it was just out of the park for me. I want to say
same.
one of the best runways of the season so far.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I want to give it like an 11, but I'm gonna give it a 10 because we don't.
I
have,
give it a 10 too.
If we had, you know what?
Higher. Wait.
Boom.
Yes!
We give it
Wait,
11.
Is it covered by the?
Oh yeah. We give it an 11.
Yes.
Because we were just blown out of the water. I cannot. Even walking backstage to do some interviews, I was like floored.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tabitha Christie.
I loved it. It was kind of giving me Studio Ghibli vibes at the beginning with the like mask thing.
Yeah.
It looked like what's that movie? Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Like it was giving that vibe to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved it so
Yeah.
much.
I'm a big concept girly.
Yeah.
And that just shot out of the park for me because we felt transformed,
Yeah.
transported into your time. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
It was so good.
All right. Love it. Next up, we have Trev Her.
Who came out in
Girl.
human skin.
Human leather.
It was real. No, it wasn't.
Did she scalp me?
Bags.
Loved it. Again, when you think of leather and you want to go outside the box, your first thought is black and biker, which, again, if you do it well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, again, with this competition, you need to go outside the box. And I loved this concept of, like, you know, the description was, like, she got bullied, so she fucking, like, scalped them and, like, cut them up. And I was like, damn, bitch.
I know, right? I was like, great story.
You know, like, I want to see people go outside the box and show them that, like, you're not just this kind of thing. And Trevor's been known for kind of, like, you know, being, like, slutty in the sense of, like, being a man.
Oh.
And so everyone, like, you know, they know
Trev him.
They know Trev him. So they want to assume what Trev Her is. But Trev Her is pushing the boundaries and really showing that they can be funny, they can be fashionable, they can be sexy, and they can be stupid, and they can be gore. And I loved this runway.
I agree. I feel like Trev Her has definitely been showing so many different sides and definitely pushing it like out of the box for every single challenge has been taking it out of the box. So
if you don't know Trev Her's name, now you do.
Yeah, facts.
I loved it. And they had this giant hair by Crimson. I loved it. It's very giving like electrified, like
yes,
very spooky vibes. You know, when the theme is leather, you get to choose what story you're telling.
Yeah.
And she went the Dracula route, and that is iconic.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna say like a 9.5, only because I wish the gown was like either textured or rhinestone or something.
Yeah.
Although I loved like the cutout of it, it just felt like it was just the dress.
Flat, kind of.
It was just flat. Yeah. But the storytelling, the modeling, the makeup, everything was also there. So like 9.5.
Yeah, I agree. 9.
Loved it. Oh my god, iconic. All right. And last but not least, we have Diabetes. Oh my god. Daya is I want to say the fashion girly of the season so far. I agree,
definitely.
And she comes out in this Abraham Levy X Diabetes ensemble.
Period.
But it's black and yellow. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Which is, again, what we're looking for is we don't want to see basic leathers. We want to see outside the box thinking.
Yeah.
And coming out as an animal who isn't made out of leather, mind you, bees are not made out of leather. Gasp!
Wow.
It was just really funny, like, just seeing, like, how you can take two concepts and put them together. You know, bee and leather. And then it was amazing. She had this custom-made bee butt with an ostrich feather trim and these giant, like, Katy Perry-inspired wings.
Bee wings, yeah. They were so cool. She knocked the light a little bit when she was walking around. Yeah, they were so tall.
It was so cunty, though.
It was amazing.
I loved it. I don't remember who all made their outfits. I want to say Sarah made her outfit. I feel like Tabitha worked on her outfit.
Yeah.
I don't know the full tea. But Daya didn't make the corset, but she made that underbody suit with the bee thing and then also the wings. So she made all that as well. She's our crafty queen.
Yes, definitely.
I obviously knew all these beforehand because we're a family. But again, we have 1 week to do all of this stuff. She had 1 week to do her entire roast set, 1 week to do all of this stuff, and she knocked it out of the park. So I'm gonna give her I've seen this look before, which is like why I'm like I don't want to give it as well as it is, but it was phenomenal. So I'm gonna say 9.
I'm gonna give it a 10. That was like next level for me. Every single week she's been hitting it out of the park with these runways. Like so good.
I've just seen this outfit before.
Yeah.
So like in my mind I'm like, oh, she's like that. But for the blind eye, I would say that this is a really, really cunty outfit.
It was
9.5.
amazing.
9.5 I would say. Only because like you're my sister. Sorry, girl. All right, on to the roast. Now, my favorite roast is actually roast beef. What about you?
I'm vegetarian.
Back to you at the studio. Oh my god, no. So this week's Maxi Challenge was a roast. Now, we had a roast in our season, and girl, I don't remember any of it.
I was gone. I was out.
Oh, you were eliminated?
I was eliminated by then. But you roasted me in your thing.
Yes,
I remember.
Yes. I was walking yesterday after the roast, and I was like thinking like, I did well in my roast. What were my jokes? And I forgot all of them. But I did say, I said, Ani so mediocre. It was my Ani so exotic joke. And that's all I remember. But I famously had the funniest joke of last year's roast. Sorry, I'm just so funny every year. Whoa. Yeah. No, this year's roast was cutthroat. Oh my god. I was like grabbing onto people, screaming, like looking around, like
literally
hilarious. I could have watched a whole another like 20 minutes of it. I loved it so much. But let's just like get it like in the order. Yeah? Let's get into it. All right. So first up we had Frida Poussey. Now, the looks don't matter for their roasts per se, but every one of these girls looked gorgeous. But their scores don't matter, so we're not going to talk about it. So Frida Poussey, I thought as an opener of a roasting set, it's extremely difficult, which is why Chris Rose won last year, because they thought that they were like openings extremely hard, and she did really well. So that's why she like really had the points over me and who else was in the top.
Yeah.
So Frida for an opener, again, she did this as her talent. Do you hear that? Oh my god. Breaking news, Detective Fierce I think is on the case. Let's go see what she has to say. Hey y'all, this is Detective Fierce, aka Mick Shakers, Season 1 winner Venetian, and I'm here with
Frida Poussey.
Now, Frida, this week we have the roast, and during your week 1 talent, you did a kind of like stand-up comedy set. How are you feeling going into this week's roast?
I have never been more confident in a challenge in my life. I love a good roast. I hope that all the contestants know this is all out of love and nothing more.
So, last week you were famously in the bottom 2 against popular belief. Are you feeling a fire under your ass? You know, this is a confident challenge for you. Do you think you can just take it from the very bottom to the very top?
I am ready to take it from the very bottom to winning it.
You hear to hear, folks. Let's just find out the results. Back to you in the studio. Thanks, Detective Fierce. She's so funny.
She really is.
No, I loved Frida's set.
So good.
You know, Detective Fierce talked about how her week 1 talent was a stand-up set.
Yes.
So, you know, it's a lot of pressure when you've already showed off what you do and you have to do it again with different jokes. And you already set yourself up for like such, well, she wasn't in the top.
She was safe, yeah.
So she kind of did become a wild card because people thought we just saw her jokes and they were okay. I loved them. But if she was safe, they think, okay, well, she was safe with her own roast. Maybe this one she'll be okay. But I thought she knocked out of the park.
I thought she totally knocked out of the park.
The beginning of her set was phenomenal.
So good. She was so funny. She definitely was going a long time. But that was like good because I didn't know that until I went back and looked at the video and I saw how long it was, because I was not feeling it. Like, we were not dreading the whole performance as the audience. We were like, give us more, and then she was like, sorry, I have to go.
Yeah, if anything, that's like the only sad part about it was that she was just gunning.
Yeah.
And then Tatiana comes in and be like, 30 seconds left, and she's like, well, shit, you know, let me just wrap it up here. But like, she could have done a full set for half an hour, and I would have sat and laughed the entire time.
She did a great job.
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 too. And you really proved me wrong, Frida, because I didn't like your comedy before, but now I really like it.
Yeah. For an opener, you like knocked it out of the park. I fucking
Totally
loved it. Yeah. Iconic. All right. Next up, we have Botox. Now, I didn't think Botox would be that funny,
Same.
especially since they don't know these girls. So, like, that's like hard.
Yeah.
Because you have to know and you have to have content
Yeah.
of which you're like roasting people on. But I thought it was hilarious that they just immediately came out and they're like, oh, all I know about DC gays are bump. And having that like going through the whole time was just hilarious. You know, they'd always call back and be like, bump. You know, 3 jokes
Yeah.
later, bump. And that's hilarious. So that's how you do comedy.
Yeah, literally.
Is you set up a joke in the very beginning and you have something to like call back on. It was amazing. I thought their ending especially is what I really put notes on. It was hilarious. You know, for somebody who doesn't know these girls, they knocked it out of the park for me.
Yeah. I was really not
Yeah.
expecting Bo to slay it as much as they did, so.
Yeah, like they were a lot of roasts where they would be like, Ani, this, that, and then boom, switch it on.
Yeah.
You. And I'd be like, not the double roast. Like, whoa. So I thought that's a really clever
Double
idea.
whammy.
Especially when you have a time limit. Hitting
Yeah.
2 at one time is really, really funny. So I gave it a 9 out of 10. Because the beginning for me was like a little build up, but as soon as they were in the flow and that ending, loved it.
Yeah, it was
Loved it.
so good.
Great job, Botox.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we had Tiara Masu. I thought the beginning was a little hard for me, a little wordy at times,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought the jokes were funny.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I liked it overall.
Yeah, me too. I feel like the jokes, like, I was surprised the audience wasn't laughing because I
Yeah.
was laughing at a lot of them. Like, I was like, oh, she thought of this as creative stuff. Like, it's thought through. It's not just, like, sort of generic. You know what I mean? Like, it was interesting. So
Yeah.
I like that. But, like, I feel like, I don't know if it was in her delivery or something, but I thought it was funny. I wasn't hearing as much laughter as I thought I would have, though.
I think it was mostly her delivery was delivering it because she knows it's funny, but my favorite part about stand-up is that you say these things as if they're not funny. And that's what's even funnier, is that she was kind of delivering them as, like, get this, like, you're gonna love this. And I was like, well, don't tell me I'm gonna love it, because then, like, it's not gonna be as much fun.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was really funny. My favorite of hers was the bombshell hit the Pentagon.
Yes.
Oh, wait, the Pentagon City Mall. And all she got was
About
that
the
ugly-ass
dress.
Akira dress, which I thought was hilarious. Especially since I had, like, a lot of 9/11 jokes in my set. And I did well, so I was like, yay! I'm famously known for loving the Family Guy 9/11 was bad memes. So, like, anything 9/11 I thought was hilarious in the sense of... I thought it was amazing. I love jokes that, you know, some people can be very sensitive, but the favorite part about the roast was that we all have tough skin. Nothing was off the
Yeah.
table. So she really went there with a lot of her jokes. And that's what made it even funnier, especially with, I want to say, Frida's as well. And Botox is with the bumps, you know, the elephant in the room. Bump. So I thought she did very well. Her ending was very good. And I caught a stray. Tiramisu, zoom in.
Oh, yeah.
Tiramisu. That was funny. Okay. I will not be caught on that, though. Cake Pop loves to, you know, make me say things that I don't say. So I'm not having Tiramisu do the same for me, okay? I am Venetian, and I have never done blackface, and I never will do blackface.
Period.
But that joke was funny as hell. Thank you. Thank you. Anyways. Oh, I gave it an 8.
We have your intro. Your intro at the beginning be like, my name's Venetian. I've never done it. I will never do blackface.
No.
And I'm on so exotic.
Bitch, what's that?
And they're saying that.
Don't know what happened there. That was kind of crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna give it an 8. I thought it was a slow start, but there were some hitters in there. I really enjoyed that.
I liked it as well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
Definitely safe.
Yes.
All right. Out of everyone.
Next up, we have Bombshell Monroe. Now, I she's very confident on the microphone, which is very, very good. But I feel like not as many of the jokes were hitting as I thought. There were some really, really good ones in there, but
Really, really good ones.
I don't know. It wasn't clicking as much for the audience, I feel, which is disappointing because she is a funny person.
She's very funny.
And there were some really funny jokes. My favorite one I have noted was the Helen Keller one. One of the things that I didn't really like is that it got a little wordy at times. And, you know, we want back-to-back laughs. And so you kind of have to be like, you know, this is that, boom. This is that, boom. And so when you talk for too long, either we forget the setup or we just kind of lose interest. And so that's where, like, I kind of had that disconnect.
I really like Bombshells, honestly. Like, I thought it was one of the better ones because a lot of her jokes, I agree with what you were saying about, like, some of them were wordy. Me, personally, I don't mind that too much, but I understand, like, from a judging perspective compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, some of her jokes were, like, really, really good ones. Like, some of the best ones of the night were, like, a few of her jokes to me. So I was really surprised with the outcome of the episode because I didn't think she was one of the worst. I thought there were definitely a few people who were worse than her.
Well, who was worse than her? Well, with that being said, I gave her a 7. Only because I guess I see what the judges were seeing.
Yeah. I'm going to give her an 8 because I actually just really enjoyed it,
Yeah.
honestly.
There were some really good moments in there, but I feel like there weren't enough. And then the combination with some of the wordiness, like it just kind of like, yeah, there was highs and lows. Yeah. I thought it was fun though. I enjoyed it. Next up, we have Trev Her.
I will have the unpopular opinion here and say a lot of Trevor's jokes were really funny to me because they were really, like, dumb in a way. Like, they weren't smart people. Like, you didn't have to think of, like, to understand the joke. But that's what I like. Like, we're doing drag. This is dumb as fuck. Let's be dumb for once. I liked it, personally.
I will say, if Trevor had gone earlier in the lineup, that would have worked. But since we had, like, 3 or 4 powerhouses who used complex jokes and that hit extremely hard, now you're wanting those same jokes.
Yeah.
Your expectations were like set up high because you've now heard these
Really
wordy
creative.
long jokes that were hilarious that now you know that you don't need to be dumbed down. And so since we had those, like, every pleasure is so, you know, happy, you know, this is that, like, we're kind of like, okay, well, I don't know, I feel like our expectations were set so high with the previous jokes that we were told that I feel like it just kind of, like, fell low for me.
Mm-hmm.
They were safe jokes. They were funny, yes. I just feel like they weren't funny enough. They were safe jokes, but I don't know, kind of missed the mark for me. And I thought she was fine. It was just, I feel like since we had such great, detailed, funny jokes beforehand, when I'm being, like, baby-fed, like, simple jokes, I'm like, okay, well, why settle for less, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I just got the funniest joke of my life. I want another one. I don't
Yeah.
want, you know, applesauce and carrots.
And I think there was something that really, like, a disadvantage for a lot of the girls who went later is a lot of their material, like, specifically for everybody made a joke about the that she does, her 8 count. So, like, but it was the same joke. Like, nobody was, like, putting a new twist on it. And I was kind of surprised that they were still using that joke. I was like, you heard the person before you say it. Why are you saying it again? Like, I don't think that is helping your score. So.
But I thought her look was cute. We're not talking about looks, but
Yeah.
famously in her runway, she was painted red.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to, like, deal with the red face, and so she just came out as Lucifer. And that was a funny joke she said where she was like, normally I'm Trev Her, but now I'm Lucifer.
Yeah.
And, like, that's branding. That's really funny. So I thought that was a great little start, but I feel like it kind of, like, fizzled out, per se. There weren't any crazy heavy hitters, which is why I'm going to have to give it, like, I gave it a 6.5 on my score.
I'm gonna give you, like, be really crazy. I'm gonna give it an 8. I thought it was really funny at parts.
It was good enough, but I think comparing it to what we've seen before, her set alone, I'll give it a 7. But in the total setting of everybody, I think it was like a 6.5.
Okay, then I'll give it a 7.5 in the total thing of everybody.
Only because you have just gone after, like, 3-4 powerhouses, you know? So that's why I gave it that. We love you, Trevor. Please don't kill me. All right, next up we have Serotonin. Now, I was kind of disappointed in the audience, per se, when she started.
Yes.
They were talking over her, which can suck, but this happened to me in my season. And what I did is literally said, like, hey, bitches, listen up. Like, when you have the microphone and you're being judged on what you're doing, you make the audience your bitch.
Yeah.
So I really wish she had a little bit more, you know, dominance in her set.
You
And,
can't
like,
give teacher. You can't be like, I'll wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that I said all right. But, like, I, like, speak up, you know? It
Yeah.
shouldn't have to be Tatiana having to tell everyone to shut up. Like,
Yeah.
if it's your set, you are now in control of the crowd.
Yeah.
And so I feel like people talking over you kind of spoke for, like, the vibes we were getting, you know?
Yeah.
When we're at a show, we want to be sat and, like, listening. So I feel like it just kind of lacked, like, dominance there and kind of,
Yeah,
like,
and I agree with that.
I don't know. It kind of, like, faded in the back for me.
Yeah,
We couldn't
for
hear much of
sure.
the jokes.
No.
I don't know. It's just
The jokes I could hear were like good, but they weren't landing. I don't know if it was in the delivery. Like I thought some of them were really creative in like the way they were written, but some of them I feel like she would like kind of give up on the joke, if that makes sense. Like she would be start saying it, and then she would see like people weren't really being receptive because the audience was being disrespectful a little bit. So like she would kind of trail off in her voice in a way, like I don't know how to describe it. She wouldn't like give the oomph to the punchline that she needed to.
I will say I did love her redacted joke at the end.
Yes.
And she was like, if you enjoy my set, my name is Sarah Jones. If you didn't, my name is
Redacted.
Yeah, redacted. And that was hilarious. I was screaming, grabbing onto, especially with Richmond girls. Wink, wink. Redacted Richmond drag queen. That was hilarious because you have 2 Richmond drag queens in the competition and several Richmond people in the audience.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a great thing because everybody knew about it.
Yeah.
And you went there. So that was a cute little save. But overall, it just didn't hit it for me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
I
give it a
agree.
6.
I'm sorry, Sarah.
Next up, we had Tabitha Christie. Now, Tabitha is known for the roast. Like, she's the roast girl.
Yeah, she's known for being very, very funny.
And I had personally sent an email to Detective Fierce because I needed to know how she was going. So let's see if she answered that email. Hey y'all, Detective Fierce here. I'm here with...
Tabitha Christie, the stoner loner with a boner for mystery.
And the mystery is... This week is a roast, and you're most famously known for all of your jokes and roasts and just your comedic talents. Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure going into this week?
I think the pressure more comes from there is an online video series that refuses to just give me my props, even though I've been in the top. I'm talking about you. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry, what was your question again?
Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure since this week is a roast and you're known for all of your jokes and comedy?
I don't know if I want to say pressure so much as there is an expectation, and I'm really hoping that I live up to that expectation, because the only thing you can do is try your best, really.
And if you don't win, will you riot and sabotage every other person?
Absolutely. If I don't win tonight, I'll probably burn Shakers down. Could you delete this footage in case it happens? I don't want to get the blame for it.
We'll censor it out. Well, thank you so much. And let's find out what happens. Back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Detective Fierce.
She looks so pussy out of drag. Now, I think going into this, as Detective Fierce discussed with Tabitha, there's high expectations when you're known for being a funny queen, and when not even being funny but roasting is your specialty. That's where like things go into play. And I feel like with Tabitha's set tonight, I feel like she got carried away in the sense that yes, you need to have fun, but I feel like she was having fun for herself alone.
Yeah.
And kind of ignored everything else just to like say what she wanted to say. Whereas like scoring came into play. But if that was a sacrifice she's willing to take, that's on her. And she seemed to really have fun and enjoy herself. She didn't care what anyone else thought. And that can be fun to an extent, but I feel like, we can't run a Facebook or anything complaining because nothing was off limits. But I feel like, Tatiana was off limits. And I feel like she made some sacrifices for the sake of her art. And we have to live with that.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved her set. I thought it was funny. I didn't have any notes that were like bad or good about it. But of course her confidence was amazing. The ugly joke we talked about where she was like 30 seconds, you're like, oh, you're ugly. And I thought that was hilarious. Like she jumped to the punchline of the joke. She didn't give up on it. She just kind of skipped, and I kind of thought it was iconic.
Yeah.
So I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I had really high expectations for Tabitha, and I don't know if she met them completely because I was like you said, she was just kind of having fun for herself. It didn't feel like she was like letting the audience in a way to like laugh with her. It felt like she was like trying to like not read, but like get everything out because she was like, I just want to get all of this out because this is like what I wrote kind of, and I like want to share it, which is like nice, but it's like I don't know. Also, the breaking the rules in 2 different ways was also a little interesting for me that she did that, but I was just surprised with her placement even after all of that. So I will
Yes.
give it a 7. Yeah, sorry.
Slay boots. And last but not motherfucking least, diabetes. And this girl has been talking to me for like weeks and months about the roast. And I'm so happy she finally got to do her thing. I loved it. This girl loves to read a bitch down.
She does.
In or out of drag. Nobody was safe. I thought it was hilarious. I forgot all the jokes.
I was gonna say that too. That's like, I thought it was really funny, but like today, do I remember much? No. But I thought it was really funny in the moment. I was laughing a lot.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Like, you did your job.
Yeah.
You did the challenge.
I thought the pacing was amazing. She tends to speak a little fast, as do I. And that was my one concern.
Yeah, that was
that she would talk too fast, we couldn't hear the joke. And her pacing was amazing. You could hear everything. It was very funny. I loved the Desiree Dick, where it was like, you must have felt at home, given every time you walk into a room, we hear,
"Hello, uglies."
you know, I thought that was hilarious. You know, with the Dragula, I think someone else made a Dragula thing, but doing the voice, and like the setup was different, so I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Especially when we talked about people stealing other people's jokes.
Yeah.
Or just using the same ones. Having your own twist is a great way to save yourself.
Yeah,
You know, keep that content.
that's facts. You can, just like putting a twist on your original joke. Like, be like, everybody said like Every did this. Well, what about when she, you know, like.
I also love I had to Google, or Whitney Gucci. I had to Whitney Gucci Google who the fuck you were. And as that's a tongue twister. And the fact that she got that out perfectly, she did such an amazing job.
She did.
Roasts are hard, and closing a roast is even harder because every single joke has been said.
Yeah.
And you are stuck with pages worth of content that has to be original, and I thought it was amazing. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 as well. I thought it was a really, really good job. She
Very strong.
Yeah. The only reason I wouldn't give her a 10 is because Frida was just so good.
Opening up with like, it was the Frida show for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. So 9 out of 10. Woo! Go diabetes. Now on to our placements. I agree mostly. Yeah, I would say I agree with the placements, yes.
I don't know if I do, because so the reason, as far as we know now, that Frida didn't win is because she went overtime, right? There were other people in the cast who went overtime and broke the rules in other ways, and they were not in the bottom when I thought maybe they probably should be because you broke the rules.
Well, I think that's where other judgment comes into play. Though.
Yeah.
So let's go over our placements. So safe this week, we had Tiara Masu, Tabitha Christie, and Trevor. I agree with the safes. Thank you. And in the top, we had Frida Poussey, Botox, and Diabetes. I thought it was a very strong top. And even the crowd was chanting, Frida, Frida, Frida.
Yeah.
But, again, you have to take into account the runways, their set, and then the rules that come with those things. So, I thought, if anything, it was like by a hair.
Yeah.
I thought it was so close. And the winner of this week was Botox! Yay! I think it was a kind of an underdog moment. I could have seen either Botox, Daya, or Frida winning, if I'm being quite frank. But I'm not upset. You know, Botox was in the bottom last week.
2 weeks ago.
No, bottom week 1, safe week 2, and winning week 3. That's a great thing to be going up.
Yeah.
So I thought they did a great job. Their jokes were funny. It only got funnier as time went on.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
I loved it too. It makes sense that Bo won. Yeah.
Yeah. I personally would have given the win to Beep. No, I just feel like it was neck and neck. Any of those 3 could have won.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Which means that Daya and Frida were safe, but high. So that was good for them.
Yes.
A great track record for them so far. In the bottom two, though, we had Bombshell and Sarah. Now, before we get to the bottoms, let's talk about the controversial opinion. Now, I think that the elephant in the room, okay, we're going to talk about it, okay? I thought that Tabitha should have been safe because her outfit was an 11 out of 10.
Yes, I agree with that.
Whether she stood up on stage and did nothing, her costume or her runway was leaps and bounds, like, out of this world. And so when it comes to scoring, you have to count those together.
Yeah.
So although she might have been taking off points for, you know, certain things that she did, her runway was up there. So that's why I have to say that. I agree with the placements, you know?
I would say the only thing that really surprised me is because I agree, Tabitha's was, like, her runway was, like, next level. Like, but I thought, in my head, I would assume that, like, I didn't think she was funny enough to compensate.
I think that Tabitha, I was fine with her being safe only because her outfit really saved her.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It must have been her outfit that saved her because otherwise I would assume that I don't think her roast made up for the fact that she broke the rules. I don't think the roast itself made up for the broken of rules in the roast, if that makes sense. That's my opinion.
It's only a point deduction for breaking the rules.
Oh,
And
1 point?
No, I don't know how many points, but like it's like a point deduction. Like she's not disqualified. She's
Oh,
not
no, not at all.
It's not
No.
an instant elimination
No,
or instant in the bottom. So again, if you're willing to take those sacrifices for your art, take them. You know what I mean? Chanel Janae did that last season, and she made it to the very top. So if you're willing to make those sacrifices, do what you must.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with her being safe. In
I
the sense
can
that, like,
see it.
yeah, I would say like safe high, if anything. I don't think she was that low, but agree to disagree.
Yeah, definitely.
In the bottom though, we had Bombshell Monroe and Serotonin. Do we agree?
Not fully. I agree with Sarah, but I do think I would have switched out. Well, I don't know. Because if we are taking into account, like, everything, I don't know how the judges weighted it. Because if the runway was weighted equally to the challenge, then I agree. But if the challenge was weighted more, then I don't agree.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we will never know.
And they were lip syncing to Commander by Kelly Rowland. This song,
It's so good.
so good. And I was a little bit disappointed.
I was too.
in the fact that, you know, I only enter a competition I know I can win. And if I'm ever in a place where I can be eliminated, I'm fighting for my goddamn life.
Literally.
And I just felt like Sarah gave up, per se. You know, she felt a little down on the roast. And then when you're lip syncing, we know these songs in advance, so that we all know what's going to happen. And you have to dress the occasion. I told one of the members of the season, be ready for a lip sync every single week, whether you're winning or losing. Because you never know where you're going to be.
Yeah.
And Serotonin in this little, like, lovely tulle gown, you know, it's giving, like, very Princess Fairy, but the song is Commander.
Yeah.
You know, I'm, like, dressed to the occasion. Whereas Bombshell was in this, like, mini dress, like, really feeling her oats. I kind of love that. So I feel like Sarah wasn't really prepared for the occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
And it just felt like at moments she was kind of giving up and accepting defeat. And it was just disappointing to see because
Yeah, it was
it's
sad.
it's a lip sync battle for your life.
Yeah.
We can't say that trademark. But, yeah. I just feel like I didn't even have to really watch lip sync to know what was going to happen, which was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I want to see fights. I want to see people, like, going for a whipped cream on the walls. But yeah, I think the results kind of laid them out for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So Bomb stayed and Serotonin went home.
Yes.
Send your love to Serotonin.
Yes, we love you, Serotonin.
Mwah.
I don't know any. I think she does like trivia somewhere.
Yeah, she does at Bark Social, I think.
No, that's what I do.
Oh. That's you do trivia there?
No, we do.
You just regular.
bingo.
Oh, bingo.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's right.
She does
so
like,
I wasn't wrong.
No,
she does do it there.
No, she doesn't.
You just said you do bingo with her.
No, I do bingo at Bark Social,
Then what does she do?
like at a wine bar.
Oh.
No.
I just confuse flyers, okay? I'm like dyslexic with
Is
like
it 'cause
with
we're both
whole
white?
words. Yeah.
No. So go support her. Follow her. Send her all your love. Again, this is hard. That's life.
That's
Oh
a
my
lie.
God.
I'm
All right.
crying.
So
Okay.
our winner this week was Botox, and our loser this week was serotonin.
Aw.
That's one less person, and we're 1 week closer to the finale. And next week's challenge is
80s, which I dressed up for because I already wore leather in the teaser. So next week I'll be dressing up for the next week.
I guess I wore leather in the teaser as well. But yeah, next week is 80s. They have to do an 80s runway and an 80s performance, and this is open to interpretation. So they can do
Ooh.
literally whatever they want.
I'm excited.
These are the good challenges because this is where we get to see who the
Who
artist
you are,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're not forced to do anything. You get to choose everything you are doing.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what happens.
Me either.
Well,
Yay!
With that being said, I'm Wendy with a cunty fuck ass bob. No, Wendy. You know Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy, if she was cunty.
Yeah. What's her name though?
Wendy.
Wendy.
It's called Wendy, so that's her name. I'm assuming the
Okay.
mascot.
Okay. With that being said, I'm Wendy from Wendy's if she had a fuck ass bob.
And I'm Anissa Exotic, but also plain Jane if she was brown.
And
And
this
this
is
was- This has been
The Shakedown.